Welcome back to another video, and today I'm giving you guys my first impressions of the On Cloudmonster 2. So I feel like I missed out from not testing the original On Cloudmonster. Everyone seemed to love that shoe and everyone seemed to put a bucket load of miles in. So when the 2 came out and On reached out and offered a testing pair for me, I was absolutely delighted to accept, to get some miles in it and share my thoughts with you guys. That leads me on nicely to saying a quick disclaimer: this is indeed a pair of shoes that On sent to me for the purpose of review. However, they have no editorial control over the video, they have no idea of my thoughts, and they certainly won't see anything before you guys get to see it here. So with that out of the way, as with all first impressions videos, let's talk about how I've tested them, go through a technical overview, and then give you my first impressions. So I kick-started testing this shoe with a 70-minute run on Saturday, slowly building back from illness. So it was nice to get out there and plod around for 70 odd minutes or so. That was really good, enjoyed it, took it on a mixture of road and trail, and it just handled things really, really nicely. And then today, when I'm recording this, which is Monday, I managed to get out for another 60-minute easy run, feeling even better. I'm really enjoying the shoe. So it's got some decent easy miles in it in these early stages. I'm going to kickstart the technical overview by saying I went true to size in this shoe, UK size 13, and it is a spot on fit. In terms of stack height, we're talking about 35mm of stack in the heel, 29 in the forefoot for a 6mm heel to toe drop. And in my UK size 13, it comes in at 366 grams or 12.9 ounces. And we'll start our way at the back of the shoe, talk about the heel, counter, ankle collar, tongue, lacing upper, midsole, and finish with the outsole. So let's start by saying we have an engineered mesh upper, which runs all the way around the shoe. Lovely and breathable in the front, and obviously a bit more thick and overlaid in the back here. A bit of structure, semi-rigid, shall we say. There's a bit of flexion there, but not too much. A heel cup, I'm not going to say it's a standard like plastic heel cup because I can't feel that we would normally expect in other shoes, but kind of it does run on the base of this lilac colour here, and there's a bit more structure there. But as you get towards the top, a little bit more foldable. Lovely cushioning in and around the top here. That's very comfortable and very welcomes when you're looking at a nice easy mileage hog type of shoe where you just want to slip your foot in and just run. What I will say, the cut on the ankle bone there is slightly higher than other shoes I've been testing. So when you're running, it absolutely makes no difference whatsoever. When I'm walking to run, I do occasionally notice that the padding here at the back is pushing up against my ankle bone. Doesn't cause any pain or rubbing or anything like that, but I have noticed that the cut on this one is slightly higher. Doesn't impact running, so I just wanted to make you aware of that. In terms of the tongue here, we have a paper thin tongue, a mesh-like material, just the same as what we've got running around here, but even thinner realistically. And there is some felt type material that runs around the top of it, I'm guessing to stop it fraying and just so it's comfortable on the top of the foot there. That runs all the way down, and of course it's gusseted medially and laterally, left and right of the shoe, so it does give you a nice wraparound feeling. And the laces are very nice. Again, On like to pay attention to detail. And unlike the stretchy laces I've been frustrated with in a couple of the Saucony shoes lately, these are really nice, as per I always find in On shoes. And the lacing system is not standard eyelets. They use this kind of little wire that runs all the way up. So I believe in version 1 it was kind of tabs. They've gone to a wire system now, and that runs all the way up, but we do have the extra eyelet there if you want to do the runner's knot. But I seem to get a really good cinch down across the top there. The upper is very roomy. So for me with the wider foot, it's lovely. I can splay my feet. It feels very comfortable. You certainly don't get a hug around feeling from the toes down. So this section here is very wrapped over. At this point it feels quite baggy, so there's a lot of material going on here. Again, as I'm saying, when I am running nice and easy, absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever, but just note there is quite a lot of material. It's very similar to the On Cloud Stratus 3, very similar feel. I felt the same there. It didn't impact the running at all. Logged a fair few miles in that shoe, as I will do in this one, but just again to make you aware, there's a lot of material there. Moving on to the midsole, we have a dual density Helion super foam going on here. So the first bit is this orange section here which runs all the way around and around through here, and it also runs through the middle of the shoe. You just can't see it because this second layer of foam comes up the sidewalls and encases it at the back here, and sandwiched in between that is a nylon speed board. So it is an extremely comfortable ride, lovely and propulsive. So this is a heavier shoe in my daily trainer rotation, but it's not one of those dead heavier shoes where you just sink and it's a bit like a trudge. This one really moves you. Again, it's just that combination of the speed board plus the two midsoles working together. It's a very, very, very comfortable ride. I can see why people gravitated towards this for a lot of their mileage. Not particularly soft, not particularly firm, just right in the middle of that sweet spot. So very, very happy with that overall. And then we've got some rubber coverage on the outsole, which runs on the forefoot there, and then a little bit on the back here and here. But there is a lot of exposed midsole. Again, from previous testing with On shoes, this is very similar to what I've seen before, and you really don't see much deterioration on the outsole at all. I haven't put a huge amount of miles in any particular On shoe, but from what I've seen, the wear is very, very minimal for the miles that I have put in there. So I'm hoping for more durability in this one. And so that is it for the tech. So with all that being said, let's jump into the first impressions. How did I find the shoe? Well, it's been a joy to run in so far. A couple of points I think that I should make very clear if you're looking at this shoe. This is a really, really darn comfortable shoe, and it is one of those shoes that you take on an easy run and it really moves you. It kind of, when you're out there to plod, it is almost branching out into the max cushion area with 35mm of stack in the heel. It's kind of on that bordering point. I like to kind of class max cushioning really from 35, 36 up to 40 and above. This kind of just is teetering on the edge. But what I will say is it moves you. And I think that's the combination, as I said in the technical overview, of the foam and the speed ball. You get a lovely roll through sensation. You do get some good responsiveness. It is very comfy and I do really enjoy it. So don't expect to go out in this thing and plod necessarily, despite the weight, which is very deceiving because it is one of the heaviest shoes that I have in my rotation at the moment. It doesn't want you to just kind of trot along. I do find myself, and have on these first couple of runs, found myself almost really kind of working down the pace towards the end of the runs, or at certain points in the runs when I may be going downhill or just on a flat after going uphill. It really kind of makes you want to go, right, come on, let's move a little bit. So it's a very enjoyable shoe, and I love that in a shoe. If a shoe does that to you, it's very, very good. I love that. Couple of things to note. As I said, the upper, a little bit baggy in the forefoot. So I've got a good amount of room to splay the toes. I'm very grateful for that. I don't necessarily want my toes to be bunched up, but it is quite baggy in the upper. So I haven't undone these laces since my run. You can see they're relatively pulled in tight. I have a relatively wide foot, but this fits beautifully. And if all shoes had this sort of shape, it would be wonderful. But the upper at the front here doesn't sit along the top of your foot, doesn't hug the top of your foot. You get that sensation up to about halfway down the laces where the gusseted tongue ends, and after that it is quite baggy and quite roomy. So bear that in mind. If that sort of thing would annoy you, you've just got to keep that in mind. And as I said, the second thing is the weight, 366 grams. So in my UK size 13, that's definitely on the heavier end of the spectrum, same as on Cloud Stratus 3. And I said the same at the time of the Stratus 3. The weight is deceiving. I wanted to move in that shoe. I did some moderate running in that shoe, and I think I could do it in this one. And when I'm feeling a bit better, I'll definitely try and take this one out for a moderate run too, just building back up slowly after illness. So I'm not going to try and let the weight deceive me, but if you're looking at things like, let's say, the New Balance Rebel version 4 or the Hoka Max 6, which in my UK size 13, for your reference, are both sub 300 grams. This thing is 70 grams heavier. I know that weight extrapolates as it goes up the sizes, but there is a good difference there between those type of shoes and this one. But I think the previous version speaks for itself. The amount of people that went for it, it is very cushioned. I feel like every time I've run in it, it has protected the legs. My feet barely feel like they've been for a run when I slip my foot out of them. My legs feel great. And I think that's one of the massive selling points with this shoe, is it just feels so darn comfortable and very protective. So I think for an easy to moderate day plodder, this could be a really, really good option. So those are my early thoughts on the Cloudmonster 2. It's only been a couple of runs, but very excited so far to take it further. Definitely going to get some more testing done in it. As I said, when I start to feel better, hopefully put some faster stuff in it and see how it handles picking up the pace. But exciting start. And as I said, I've said it enough times and I say it once more, I can see why people enjoyed the first version so much. This is definitely a shoe that you're going to be able to take for a long period of time. That's going to hopefully, fingers crossed, last a long time. I've heard a lot of stories of people logging 500 plus miles in their Monster version 1s. I'm sure this will be exactly the same. The midsole is just wonderful, protects the legs. Just watch that baggy upper and just be aware of the weight. Otherwise, an absolutely quality shoe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you run in the first version? If you have, are you going to be picking up this version? I don't actually know if there's been a weight change between 1 and 2. I have no idea. I probably should have researched it, but because I don't have my first version or have a first version, I've got no idea. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and if you know that answer, it'd be great to share that too. Let me know if you're thinking of picking this one up and you're thinking of adding this one to your rotation. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you on the next one.